Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm actually on time. Believe it or not, I was even ready like 2 minutes early. Crazy for me. That doesn't mean anything other than I've just been awake for a while. Still definitely in need of my caffeine. For those that asked, I'm currently drinking mushroom coffee that's made by a local company called Mushroom Head. I like them a lot. They're a little smoother, a little gentler than Rise, but I feel like Rise probably is still my go-to. I also like mud water for the chai for the people that have asked. And as totally random as this is, I've been asked a bunch of times in the last couple of days, yes, my nails are now blue. They are not my normal crimson or black or royal purple. There's no particular reason other than the girl that does my nails just thought it would be really fun to give me a summer vibe. So, and then they are not gel or acrylic. These are what they call dip powder. So I've mentioned it a couple times before. I have very, very thin real nails. And so they do several coats of the dip powder where they put the base, like, it's kind of like a glue, I guess, like a nail polish glue. And then they dip it in the powder and it builds this hard exterior. So for those that have asked, no, I don't have anything special going on or anything coming up. She just thought it would be fun, and she thought it was hilarious that you can see my nails match my ring. So I didn't realize that was so noticeable, but with the pictures and stuff I've been posting recently, I guess people noticed that my usual dark and gloomy self has a little summer vibe going on. Also, if you're curious, I'm feeling a little, I don't even know, brand ambassador-y today. The workout clothes that I have on are from Valara, one of my brands that I represent, because after this, I have an event and the gym and a couple other things going on, so I just figured I'd be ready to go. I'm ready for, I guess, fitness on my mind. I put up the unboxing video earlier, and the picture, I think a day or two ago, I got these cards, these fitness cards in the mail for a company called Death Fitness, or Decks of Death. And if you hadn't seen them already, that's what they look like. How absolutely ridiculously terrifying is that? This is the lower body destruction set. I haven't even opened them. I'm honestly kind of scared, so we will do this together. We will hold hands virtually and see what these terrifying things look like. So the lower body, they're blue. They say Deck of Death on them because, you know, what screams motivation like death. Level 1 Scrub, complete the whole deck. Level 2 Hellhound, complete the deck in under 30 minutes. That's going to take quite a while. Level 3 is a Grim Reaper. It says combining and complete the lower body edition deck and the upper body edition in under an hour. Both decks, 1 hour. I hate upper body, so I feel like I'm not going to reach Grim Reaper for quite some time. And then, oh god, there's a level 4. Angel of Death. Complete the trifecta of hell in order to become an Angel of Death. Combine the upper body edition, which is this horrifying red deck right here, with the lower body edition, which is the one that I'm currently holding, and the core and cardio edition, which is the scary looking little green one right here, and do all 3 decks in under 90 minutes. That sounds miserable. I don't even want to look and see what those things are. Those are terrifying. I'm still on gentle movement. I've explained it many times for my back after the car accident last year. So I go, I walk. There's a few, like, I don't even know if they're considered gentle movement. They're kind of basic, just core machines that they're focusing on strengthening the core or the lower back. It's a lot of stretching mostly. I do yoga, I do Pilates, and I feel like I look like such a little yoga bunny today. I'm not one of those like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, go to yoga every day people. I am definitely a junk food, fast food addict. I've been very good since being sick, but I don't I still am not a healthy person. I eat salads like maybe 6 times a year. I don't live for yoga, although I do definitely appreciate the benefits, and I wish I was more flexible. I probably should do it more. But I'm more of a, I guess, I'm not a runner, so it sounds really stupid to say this, but I guess if I had to pick any version of fitness that was more me, I'm more of a cardio queen. I cycle, I walk, I don't run. I love to swim, Zumba, I'm all about it, dancing, any of that kind of stuff. I love anything that's intense and it makes you sweat and it knocks your breath out of you for a while, and then when you get done, you just kind of want to go lay and take a nap for like 4 hours. For me, that's cardio. That's more my preference. I'm working on getting better, and whatever this misery here is, reverse lunges, first motion, second motion. Okay, so that's not bad. So it just says to do 8 reverse lunges. I don't like lunges, but it's not the scariest thing I could have picked up. We'll try one more. Forward lunges. Okay. I'm just going to take that as the win and say that the deck is not as terrifying as it sounds. Mostly because I don't want to see how bad it can get. Especially with upper body. I'm a former ballet dancer, so, you know, having my arms at just the right position and holding that's all I ever had to do. It was never about pull-ups and push-ups. And to be fair, I don't think I've ever done a pull-up in my life. Not once. Not without getting a jumping start anyway. I'll get better at that. I have to, obviously, with the Spartan stuff coming up. But yeah, not my forte, the upper body thing. So, and I had a couple of people ask recently why I chose to take on this Everyday Spartan book. A couple of reasons. One, I am what you call a challenge addict. I'm not a cyclist, I'm not a runner, I'm not an obstacle course obsessive, I'm not a yoga person. I do everything, but I do like the most ridiculously intense version of it, and then I move on. That's what I do. I like to try my hand at a little bit of everything. A lot of people, most of you know by now, I did the ride across Route 66 on my bicycle. And it was just this random idea that came to me on a drive. We were driving across Route 66. I was sitting in Seligman, Arizona, and just looking around. And it's an adorable little town. I mean, it's super, super cute. And I was just like, wow, this is such a great place. Can't you just see yourself pedaling through town? And I was looked at and asked, where on earth would you be coming from or going? There's nothing near Seligman, Arizona, which, to be fair, is completely true. There's nothing, not at all, not within miles. If you go down and get on the highway, because it's just off the highway, if you go one direction, you go, I think like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and you're in Kingman. If you go probably about the same distance, you're in Ash Fork, or trying to think of the other, Williams. Williams is the other Route 66 place on the other side. So both are, you know, super cool places. I go to Kingman quite a bit. It's only a couple hours from here. Williams is absolutely adorable, and they've got Bearizona, if you're familiar with it. It's like a drive-through safari park, which I love because I love animals. But Seligman itself is not close to anything, and it's on old Route 66. Well, if you drive the old Route 66 part, if you're not on the highway, then you can go to Peach Springs. And that's also 30 miles away. Those are literally the closest things to Seligman. So it's a fair question. Where would you be coming from? Where would you be going? And I just said, I don't know. What if you were riding across Arizona? And the next logical question, why? I don't know. Why would you? Why not? And then I said, okay, well, what if you were just like doing all of Route 66? What if you were riding your bike across all of Route 66? To which came the very logical response, no one would do that. Why would you even think of that? I don't know. It just popped in my head. Well, it popped in my head, and then it stayed in my head, and then it became an obsession, and then I did it. Because that's what I do. This one I didn't actually come up with. This one was presented to me, but my brain went, ooh, a challenge. Ooh, something I've never done before. I've always liked obstacle courses. They always looked like fun. They're, to be fair, probably the only part of going through basic training in the military I would have ever wanted to do. Let's go do a challenge. Now I'm doing it. So, why am I doing it? Mostly because I'm a challenge addict, and it sounds like fun, and I like to push myself to some sort of ridiculously extreme limit. The other reason, and this one actually, believe it or not, is mildly, slightly more practical, but with these three, and of course I have Origin of Sin, I just don't have it out with me, but with the next one coming, which is Wrath, coming this fall, I've got Yearbook well on its way, which is another standalone similar to Partners in Crime, and the first of my co-writes with Akela Rose, as well as one other standalone thriller, and possibly the first of yet another collection with Akela Rose coming later this year. We'll see. I've got so much time that I'm going to be spending just attached to my computer, just sitting in here in the office, working my butt off, trying to get the words down. I get hyper focused on things. And when I do that, if anybody that's ever seen me out at events or we've talked about Partners in Crime, you know I wrote that entire book in 8 days. I went to my day job, I worked all day, I came home, I grabbed something to eat, I came into the office, and I wrote until basically the sun came up. And that wasn't even intentional. It was just, I wrote the way I think a lot of people read. I would write the book, and I'd be going and going and going, and then I would be asked, like, shouldn't you go to bed? And one more chapter. So it was a very, again, kind of addictive thing where I just kept going. I do that. I hyper focus, and I'm aware of this. It's not a habit I plan to change. So what I'm doing with the Spartan book is almost forcing myself to take a break from the sit in the office, let's be honest, eat junk food, because I'm just sitting in the office drinking coffee and eating crap. But having that break, having that something else to also focus on, it's a two-parter, because not only does it get me out of the office, and it gets me to the gym, and it makes me work out, and if you're working out, you want to eat a little better because you don't want to undo all the hard work you just did. But also, part of the Spartan book is, it's called Everyday Spartan for a reason. You have a day job, you have family, you have friends, you've got obligations, you've got all these different things going on. For me, kind of two jobs. I've got family and friends. I've got things that, I do. If you guys have seen all the Yelp reviews and stuff that I do, I'm always out at events. I'm always doing something. I travel to go to the book signings. I've got a ton going on. It'd be so easy to be like, oh, this isn't for me. Oh, I'm not going to worry about it. Training's not that big of a deal. I just kind of do it whenever I can. That's the whole point. You don't most of the time. Some people do, and bravo to you people that can do that. I'm not that person. I need a thing to train for and a reason to go. Otherwise, I have 8 reasons not to. So it's all about overcoming those kind of everyday life objections, all about pushing yourself to ignore the excuses, to make the effort. And that applies to everything in life. It applies to, well, I'm a little bit ahead on my word count, so I don't need to write tonight. I'm going to go ahead and just watch TV. Well, that's fine once, but if you're doing it every single day, all of a sudden you're behind again. So the whole point is to kind of give me a reason to stay focused on multiple things and to try to make sure that I keep that kind of balance in life. Because when I hyper focus, I don't. I eat awful. I focus. I'm in the office. I don't sleep well. And I don't sleep well in general. And my lovely Poe here can attest to that. Half the time I'm just laying in bed trying to sleep and holding him and watching something stupid on my iPad. I don't really watch like YouTube and TikTok videos. I've never fallen down that rabbit hole. But I'm deeply obsessed with Hulu. Me and my Hulu shows. I watch the exact same shows like 19,000 times. I could probably quote almost every episode of Big Bang Theory at this point, but I do. I have my Poe and we watch our shows together. I'm aware he's a stuffed animal. And he and Boo are buddies. Poe's teaching Boo to be a bird model. So for those that have asked if he will be more involved, yes, you will see more of Boo coming up soon, I'm sure. And then, of course, my lovely bunnies. I have Bonnie too, but she's being lazy and sleeping, which is what I wish I was doing. But Bria, she's Poe's personal trainer, and that's why you keep seeing her in pictures of me at the gym or with the scary cards. And our little Ube is so cute. She's so freaking cute. And she's so soft. But she is Poe's nutritionist. They all have little jobs because when Nell makes the activity book, she's making themed pictures. So they all needed their jobs. Just like Walter here, he's our head of security, which cracks me up because the bodyguard is like 4 times his size. But I've been having fun helping create that. And speaking of Nell, tonight is the author happy hour, the cocktail video that we do. So you'll see me and Sarah and Nell hanging out later on. And then tomorrow, for those of you that are actually in town, is the author social. Will be at Almond and Oat on 215 in Jones. It's been like 8 different kinds of coffee shops. I think it used to be a Samba Latte, but it's now owned by the company that does the coffee class. So they have the Almond and Oat, which, as you can guess from the name, almond milk, oat milk, they're kind of the vegan, non-dairy version. They're good. I've been there a few times. So we'll be hanging out there, and our group Turning Pages has some potential new news coming as well. So as soon as I lock that down, I'll let you guys know. Lots going on, lots to focus on. Today's going to be very, very busy. But if coffee's not your thing, hey, join us later. I have no idea what we're going to be drinking later tonight. Nell said something about doing something floral and spring summery, so we'll see. Although, I don't know if she's in the greatest mood, so we might be getting something a little bit darker. But as thriller and fantasy and darker writers ourselves, that's not a bad thing for us. We're always happy to indulge in some sort of interesting creativeness. I have yet another Yelp event, so I will be going and checking out another new restaurant tonight. Or afternoon, I guess. It'll be earlier today. Either way, we have tons and tons of stuff coming up. It's going to be a very busy time, and so I'm hoping for those of you that were asking about kind of the why of the Spartan and what's going on. I have to know what's going on with all of these like training things. I hope that explains it and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I highly don't recommend it, to be perfectly honest. I'm a little extra special when it comes to the whole challenge addict thing. It works for me. I'm very, and I'm not making fun of anybody. For those that are actually like diagnosably ADD, I genuinely hope that, you find things that help you. I've always kind of called myself as a joke internationally ADD just because I like to travel and I'm always going places. Now I'm more challenge addiction version. I lose interest very, very quickly. I feel like I accomplish something, I put the little checklist on it, and then I move on to something entirely different. When I was training for Ride 22, people kept asking if I was going to try to do the Tour de France after that. 1, there are no competitive women in the Tour de France. 2, no. I did what I set out to do. I rode across Route 66. And to be perfectly fair, in the 4 years since, I have not ridden a bike at all. I got back, I put my bike in the garage. It is still sitting there, currently on very flat tires. I love that bike. I spent a lot of money on it. I'm sure at some point I will fix it up. I do enjoy cycling, but it's no longer holding that intrigue for me. I need the new, the shiny, the something to train for, the something to overcome and accomplish. So I'm playing with the cardio deck here. I want to see what's in this. High knees. It's not that bad. And then leg lifts, but that says 25. That sounds miserable. All right, one more. Oh, that wasn't it. Mountain climbers. Ew. That doesn't sound like fun either. Not that any of these are going to be fun, but I'm not. I'm, again, a cardio person. That's all core. It says cardio on it. I don't believe them. I think it just makes you sweat. All right, upper body. Last deck to explore here. So, oh God, diamond push-ups. I don't even think I can do one, let alone 7. That'll be a challenge. This is going to be the hardest deck for me. There's no question. Dips. The 3 of them I might be able to do, but I'm guessing that there's more of them. Decline push-ups. Your feet are on a chair. Do you see that? Yeah, there's no way. Those are going to take months to work up to, but that's the point. Improve. See how you do. And in my case, keep a chronicle of it so that people who probably don't care get to watch your miserable attempt. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. We'll see how things are going. If you are doing a challenge, if you are a obsessive like me, or even just giving it your first try, let me know. I want to cheer you on. I love cheering people on and helping them, or being kind of their moral support for all of their crazy ideas too. I mean, look at all the ridiculousness that I do, and I'm lucky enough to have a team that's always looking at me going, you know, you're insane, but we're here for it. So I want to be here for you. If you're doing something, reach out. Let me know. Let me promote you and all of your cool attempts at different challenges. It's fun to be a part of that community. So I have to get going. I have to go probably yell at the guy that ordered these because he apparently hates me. No, he doesn't hate me. He's just doing his job. That's what trainers do. They're sadists, but that's why we hire them. And I have to go to check out that new restaurant and get ready for the the author happy hour, and get ready for the social, and get ready to plan out a event proposal and all sorts of other fun things going on this weekend. So thank you guys for hanging out, for keeping me company as I explore the future misery of my training. And from me and Poe and his entire team, have fun, have a great weekend and a great week, and we will see you next week. Until then, stay captivated.